Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Leah. Today we'll be dyeing my hair ginger, but let's dive right into it. So all the products that I'm showing on this video will be detailed in the description box below. The one thing I didn't show was the scale that I used to measure the developer and dye. So I'll be starting with unwashed hair, and as you can see I have a small piece of hair parted out so that I can do a couple test strands. I need to make sure that this dye will not rip my hair out and I'm also testing whether it will lift to the color that I want. So all of the mixtures that I'll be making for the test strands will be 1 to 1.5 dye to developer ratio, and we'll all get to process for 40 minutes. What I'm really trying to test is whether I can get away with 30 volume or if I'll need 40 volume. Like, I'm trying to decrease the amount of damage, but you know, I'm gonna get my color. So with each strand, the only thing that I'm really changing is whether I'm using foil and the level of developer that I am mixing into the dye. So for the very bottom strand, what I'm starting off with first is 40 volume and foil, and then the middle strand is 30 volume and foil, and the very last strand I'll show will have 40 volume and no foil. Okay, so y'all can see there was barely any difference. At least the 40 volume, which is at the very bottom, had a pretty good lift, but I realized that for me to get the exact color that I want, I'll definitely need to use heat. So I just did one more test strand before I gave up to check whether heat and foil will make a difference with the 40 volume. I also realized that I wanted the heat to move evenly. I don't have a hooded dryer, so I went ahead and used a plastic bag and clipped it on after I tied it to the top of my head, and that little hole right below the knot, that's where I inserted the blow dryer. And as y'all can see, the color came out very close to what I wanted, but I'm pretty much working through the rest of my hair at this point. As you guys get to watch the process, I want to highlight a few things that I think will help you to achieve uniform results. So I realized that from prepping the mixture to parting the hair to applying the foils, everything was taking me way too long. It was about 20 to 30 minutes for just the bottom half of my hair. So I split my hair into quadrants and realized that I would have to be rushing and like extra stressed. I'm already stressed if you can't tell in the video. But I decided to just do the bottom half of my hair first, let the dye process, apply the heat, rinse it, and then work on the top half. The next tip I want to share is avoid applying the product an inch or two from your roots. Your scalp naturally produces heat, so it lifts quicker than the mids to ends of your hair. The product lifted higher when I applied heat, so it's the same process with your scalp. So it's just best to apply it during the last 10 to 15 minutes of your hair process. So what I did was I used 30 volume developer during the 30-minute mark. Ideally, you would use 20 volume because there's already heat going on in there, so it's gonna lift pretty high regardless. But I just had 30 volume developer on me. I did want my roots to be a shade or two darker to just add some depth and create a more natural, seamless look, but it ended up being exactly about the same exact tone. So it didn't look bad at all, but I do want to do that in the future. So I watched a lot of YouTube videos just on how to dye hair. And one thing I noticed is that people that were using foils, some people were excessively crunching their hair, crunching the foil, and then sometimes folding the foil over and over just so that it would hold up and not slip and slide. The best way to get even results is to apply the product on a very even layer and also keep it flat on the foil. So if you fold it, if you crunch it, if you do a lot of things where there's creases in the product, it will develop strange sometimes. So I think that's just a good thing for you to avoid. Pretty much just sandwich the hair and the product in between two foils, fold the sides and then the bottom. The last tip I have is saturate your hair. More is better than less, especially when treating curly hair. You want to make sure that every strand is touching the product. I realized I needed one more bottle of dye. I think I ran through like 5, or I think it must have been 5 bottles or 6. I don't remember, but I just felt like I needed one more to make sure that I'm really saturating everything. But it came out fine. By the time that I was doing the front half of my hair, I felt so congested, and my bathroom doesn't have a window. I think that would have helped, but I did keep the door open and the fan going. I was just so shocked, and it made me think there's hairstylists out here that do this day in and out, and I cannot imagine you dealing with those fumes on a regular basis. I felt like I needed to find an alternative dye. This is a high quality dye, mind you, right? So I found this because I saw some hairstylists recommend it and use it on their curly hair clients. It's supposed to be conditioning, but it still has so many heavy chemicals, and I think I need to find an ammonia-free alternative, something that's non-toxic. And I'm aware of people using henna to dye their hair, but henna only deposits color, so if you want to lift to a color like this, you're not going to get that result from henna. You can only make it look like a natural red or a natural brown or a natural whatever. So it works with the level of your hair, meaning if you're blonde, then yeah, you can definitely probably go into a ginger, but I have, as y'all can see, like a natural black hair color, so it would only make it like a dark brown or a dark red, you know. That's the best that I can do, but I am going to look into alternatives. Please let me know if you're interested in the comments below, and I'll be sure to record a video of me using the product and reviewing it. I rinsed out the dye, shampooed, and conditioned, and here are the results. It looked exactly how I wanted it to look. It looked so good. I know I don't look excited, but it was 3 a.m. in the morning. I was over it. I was exhausted. But this is what I use to care for my hair. So Curlsmith's Bond Curl Rehab. I applied it all over my hair and left it on for about 20 minutes, rinsed it out and applied deep conditioner, and then left that on overnight. I'm showing you a little bit of scalp so you can see that the dye really took well. I didn't find any dark spots, any patches of hair that didn't receive the product. I think really being careful with the product application, making sure you're thorough, not rushing through the process, and even splitting your process into 2 parts like I did will be really helpful for you to get the best results that you can. But I will say that my hair felt dry. It felt like it needed a lot of love, a lot of patience. I let my hair be for a couple of days. I didn't mess with it too much. I didn't brush it too much. I kept it into cornrows and kept it pushing. But the color was beautiful, and it looked like I did get the darker roots that I was looking for. I think that happened for me using a lower level developer, but I think if I used a 20 would have been even a richer, more obvious distinction between the mids to ends and the roots. After a week and a half, I went ahead and straightened my hair, and here are the results in natural lighting and indoors. I hope this was helpful. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and see you next time.